Today I'm going to talk about my Bigfoot Panel Wagon one more time. Now this is the Harbor Freight Bigfoot Panel Wagon with the Steel Mesh Deck Wagon suspension underneath it. I show that in a two-part video how to put this suspension on the wagon. And then I did another video where I replaced this single flat bar steering link with the two linkages with the spherical rod ends for a greatly improved steering link. Today I'm going to work on the spindle bushings. So as promised, you can see this is a brand new wagon, but you can see the play that's in that, where that spindle mount is. I'm going to add a flanged bushing to that joint position to improve this spindle joint. Now I have many other videos. I do mostly automotive work, so if you enjoy automotive work or automotive modifications, I have a number of videos that show automotive work or general maintenance. If you find this video helpful, please look at my other videos and subscribe and give me a thumbs up. So this nut that's on the spindle came pre-assembled, and I believe it's a 19 millimeter. It's extremely hard to get to. Let me show you. So you can see it's inside that piece of channel, that bent channel, but you can kind of get a wrench on it. You can tell how little use this wagon has gotten. I haven't even worn the paint off in these places right here, in the wear joints. The bushing that I've selected has a 5/8 bore, 3/4 inch outside diameter, 1 inch flange, and it's 3/4 deep. The oil light spec sheet says that the housing bore should be 0.75 plus or minus half a thousandths. So that's pretty tight. The shaft diameter should be 0.622 and plus or minus about half a thousandths, a little less than half a thousandths for the bore diameter. When I measure the hole, my sloppy top hole measures 0.66 inches and my tighter bottom hole measures 0.64. So that means I can drill that out to get to the 0.75. What I can't really affect is my shaft diameter. When I measure my shaft without the paint, I'm right at 0.620. So I'm looking for 0.622. So I might be a little bit loose there, but if I go on top of the paint, which my paint will wear out over time, I'm a little bit bigger. I'm at 0.626. Yes, at the point where I selected, but 0.63 or something like that. So I gotta take this paint off of it. Okay, that's my attempt to drill that out to 3/4, and I want to be right at 3/4, so I don't want to make that any sloppier. I want that to be a press fit, and that's what it is right now. If I try to drill that bottom out, I'm worried that I'm going to enlarge this hole, because I got to drill that through. I got to make that through that. It's risky. I like where that's at right now. I have to press it in. I could leave. I really want to bushing the top one too, though. So I'm going to go ahead and try to drill that out. Just a quick trial fit for that top one. It fits pretty good. So a little wheel bearing grease on the spindle shaft. Put it back together. Okay, that's a lot tighter. To tighten up the nut on the bottom is probably tighter than it was before too, because it doesn't rock up and down anymore. Of course, I got the flange on each of those bushings in there now, adding to the length. So that helps out significantly, I think. So that's much tighter. Of course, the bearings in the wheel on the axle shaft are pretty darn loose, but now my spindle's pretty tight, like that. My steering linkage back together. I had a 1-inch bolt in it. I needed a 1 1/4 inch bolt, so I'll take care of that as I'm putting it back together. remember the rule, like I said in my other video, and self-locking nut, a nylon self-locking nut, or really any nut, there should be at least 2 threads showing. That's the rule of thumb. So let's see what it looks like here. So I got some scraping here. I'm going to redo this tongue and put a bushing in here too, but that's going to save that for another video. So I'm going to do that same thing to the other side, and that was the left side. I got to still do the other side, and we'll see how it pulls. Just to mention it one more time, that nut is so close in here that I had to turn the whole spindle and then hold the nut to tighten it up. There's no way to get a wrench on it, or you'll get a partial bite on it. So that's what I ended up with. The 2 bushings, one top, one bottom. They're pretty tight now. This one's real tight. I like what I did. I learned from the first one and did much better on the second one. So that one is pretty darn tight. I like that. That should wear in pretty good. I left a little bit of paint on the spindle shaft here, so that'll probably wear in really good. I got some good grease on it, and well, we'll try it out and see how it rides. I still have one more video to do. I'm gonna still put a bushing where this bolt is and where that stud is. Clean up that slop that's in these 2 joints. That should have definitely came from the factory with a bushing in it. That's got a little over 8mm stud there, or almost 9mm, and it's got a 10mm hole in it. So I still need to clean that up. And if I'm doing that, I might as well do this top one. Yeah, so that feels pretty good and tight now. Oh, yeah, that's so much better. If you can see that. So that is so much better. Rock this one more time for you. Look how tight that is now. The looseness is in that wheel bearing. So the rest of it's all good and tight now. I'm real happy with that. I really like those spindles now, those bushings. Flange bushings and the spindles work great. Well, that concludes the video. I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, please subscribe and let me know in the comments.